Hey everybody, today I'm joined by country music singer-songwriter Miss Jamie O'Neill. Welcome to y'all 106.7. So
great
excited.
To be here for my first time. This is awesome.
Yes, and we have a special guest, Mr. Louie.
Yes, this is Louie.
Yes.
First time on radio.
So cute. And how old is he?
He had his birthday on Mondays, turned 7.
Very sweet. I bet he lives the life, huh?
He really does. He gets to go a lot of places, and he's pretty spoiled.
On his world press
He
tour.
deserves it because he's like the best boy in the world.
Yeah. So you're coming at a great time. We're right ahead of CMA Fest, which is one of the biggest weeks of the year in Nashville. And you do have a show
And the
that
hottest.
Yes, it is the hottest. Got a portable fan ready to go.
Yeah,
So.
it's either the hottest or the rainiest. I'm not sure because it seems like last year we got rained out, which was a bummer for my show. We were all down there ready to go on, and rain came in. And, the fans are great. They don't care if it rains. But sometimes if there's lightning, they won't let you go on. So I'm really looking forward to this year. Getting back out there.
You're playing Thursday, June 6th, 11 a.m. at the Chevy Vibe Stage. So we're hoping that it'll be some good weather for you. And then you're also playing at Chiefs on Broadway, Eric Church's new place, on July 27th. So tell us about that.
I'm really excited about playing at Chiefs. And, so many people will ask me, fans, when are you playing in Nashville? And I'm like, well, you can always count on CMA Fest. Other than that, I don't play in Nashville a lot, so this is a full band show. I'm calling it the Arizona Road Trip because a lot of my songs have like geography in them, including There Is No Arizona, including Trying to Find Atlantis, and some new songs off my new album. One is which is called Over New Mexico. So there's kind of some, things to talk about as far as traveling goes. And yeah, we're just gonna have a good time. I mean, I don't know if you've been in Chiefs.
Yes, it's very
It's like a little mini Ryman almost, and it has the bar right there, so you don't have to go too far if you want to drink, and it's on both levels. And yeah, we're gonna have some new merch.
Very cool.
So yeah, excited.
It's a great venue too. We're excited to see you play next week. And speaking of Arizona, let's go back to the beginning. You had two pretty much back-to-back #1 singles, starting with There Is No Arizona. So tell us about, when you came to Nashville, because did you originally move here to be a songwriter or a singer?
I moved here. Well, I've always been, being an artist has always been #1 for me. And I moved here in '96 to a publishing deal with Harold Shedd, who was at the Music Mill, which is now NSAI. So I came here with that purpose, but it was also, I lived here when I was a kid because my parents were performers. So I'd been performing my whole life, and I knew that I wanted to come back. Like Nashville's Music City, it was the place to be. And, I just took a lot of detours, like, oh, I think I'll go do this, oh, I think I'll go do this. And, I was young and everything, so it did take me a while to get back. But I went on tour with Kylie Minogue. Toured all over Europe and Asia, and then I got offered this publishing deal, and I was like, I've got to go. I just kind of dropped everything, quit the bands I was in, and just came over and really hunkered down and started writing like twice a day and trying to get myself out there as a writer and, work on getting a publishing deal. It took about, I think I got here in '96 and I signed my deal in '99. So it takes a while, you really have to like settle in and do the work, but it's just so worth it. It's such a great town.
It is. And now how did we segue into the artist career? Because that was 2001, right? When you released There Is No Arizona?
Well, I'd always been an artist since I was a kid. To me, the writing wasn't something that came naturally in the beginning. I started writing when I was about 19 because I was given that advice. Look, you're never going to get given the best songs, unless you have a big record deal. The best thing you can do to set yourself apart is to start writing. And so I started humming melodies into a recorder when I drove around. But I've always played live. I've always wanted to be an artist. I've been an artist. I mean, just because it was behind the scenes, but in my entire childhood was playing live. So I don't feel like there's ever been a time when I wasn't out there, but I think when I got here and, like I said, started doing the work, then the relationships started coming, and like one thing led to another. My pub deal with Gary Overton at EMI, he set up an audition with Keith Stegall, and so I sang for Keith Stegall in the studio live, and a couple days later they offered me a record deal. So
And the rest was history.
yeah.
And you're an incredible vocalist. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
that obviously comes naturally for you. So is there a song that you've written that is the most special to you that either you cut or someone else cut?
I mean, I think Arizona really is that one. You never forget your first. And I remember what it felt like when I heard it on the radio the first time. I remember what it felt like when the crowd sang it back to me the first time, and they knew every word. And there's just nothing like that feeling, you know. So I think that one. And then Somebody's Hero to me is one that moves me a lot because of the mothers and the mother-daughter relationship. And like, I wasn't prepared for the emotion of it because a lot of women have had to put their moms in a nursing home. And so I play it live and see some people crying, and I'm looking and I'm going, oh, now I'm going to cry, and thinking, okay, I can't sing when I cry. I sound completely pitchy. So I would just start singing over the top of people's heads, you know. So that the connection, I think, with that song was incredible.
And I'm sure that it's just so special to hear it even today. I'm sure that you're still going to get that reaction next week at CMA Fest when you play that.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, it's just one of those songs. My daughter will be singing with me at CMA Fest, and because I wrote it about her, and now she's about to be 21 on June 11th, and it feels like my life has come a lot full circle from having her as a baby and writing about her in that song and writing about motherhood to, you know, her going through all those steps of growing up and having to let her out of the nest. And she's not married yet, thank goodness, but we sing it together, and we recorded it as a duet in 2020 on my album sometimes. And so the song, I feel like, means more to me now even than it did back when I first wrote it.
Oh, wow, that's so special to be able to share that with her.
Yeah.
Did you have a good Mother's Day? It was just Mother's Day.
I was in Canada at Lake Louise, and it was one of the best Mother's Day. Even though I wasn't with my baby girl, that would have been amazing too. But, you know, we invited her. I'm like, you need to come with us to Lake Louise and Calgary and Banff and see all these amazing places out there. And she said, oh, we've already bought a tent for Steeplechase. We're all going to Steeplechase. And I'm like, so let me get this straight. You're going to miss me on Mother's Day and Lake Louise and all these places that you may never get to visit to go to Steeplechase. Yeah, I want to, you know. You know how young people are. Yeah. They want to be with their buddies. And my husband's like, oh, I was exactly the same way. I didn't want to be with my mom when I was that age.
Yeah.
So.
Now, your daughter, is she a songwriter, singer herself as well, solo career?
She's opening for me at Chiefs on July 27th. And she's playing at Margaritaville for the Love and Acceptance show on the 5th, the day before CMA Fest. So, and she's playing at Old Red tonight. So she's always playing out.
Okay, very cool. We actually caught up with Ty Herndon this morning. So he was telling us about that.
Yeah.
And you two have a Christmas song together, right?
Yep. And we have some shows together. We play together. We have the same agent. And we toured together years ago with Andy Griggs. The three of us were on tour.
I love Andy.
Yeah. We always have a great time, the three of us.
Yeah. So when you're not working, you live here in Nashville. What does life look like for you?
It's pretty busy. Right now I'm working on the new album. And we have 3 dogs. So that's takes up a lot of busyness, and just with traveling and everything. You know, I'm usually working on something to do with music. It's
just part of life.
It's my number one, you know. And then, of course, when my daughter does need me, which is normally like, can you pick this up? Can you take me here? Can you help me clean the apartment?
Yeah.
I'm usually over there.
So who were your musical influences growing up? Who did you listen to?
Oh, well, my number one, when I was with my parents in a family act, my number one was Dolly Parton. And, you know, the thing is, whatever your parents play, especially in my situation, because we were in an RV on the road, it's not like I was hanging out with friends and I would listen to what they listened to. I mean, it was whatever my parents played is what I heard. And it was Roy Clark. We watched Hee Haw. But my dad also, just because he loves guitar, he loved George Benson, he loved Aretha Franklin. So we would listen to Earth, Wind & Fire, R&B, and country, and gospel. And, you know, I got a little bit of all of that growing up. But I loved Janie Fricke. I loved the great singers. I mean, Patsy Cline, Loretta Lynn. I loved everybody like that, you know. So I kind of grew up listening. Eddie Rabbitt, Crystal Gayle. And then we got to open for them. So I got to, you know, work with Crystal Gayle and Dolly Parton, and met Willie Nelson, open for Johnny Cash. Incredible, you know, things that we got to do when I was a kid. So
that's quite the resume. And you were in a band with your family.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, the Murphys. So I would say they really shaped my childhood and my love of country music that started early. And then, I listened to so many different artists. But when I was in Australia, I would buy all the country CDs because they didn't play country music. I lived over there for 9 years like they do here, where it's like devoted country music radio stations. So I would buy all the country CDs or, albums when they came out. And Trisha Yearwood, Martina McBride, Sarah Evans. I listened to them all before I got here in 96 and loved their music. Still do.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, haven't you written a few songs for Leanne and Martina and Reba? And so that's got to be a full circle moment for you, listening to them before you came over. And
yeah. My first cut was Leanne Rimes, so that was amazing. And I got to go on tour with Martina and Reba. So to get them, cutting one of my songs was just a dream come true.
I bet.
Yeah.
That is so cool. It's a dream come true to have you here. We play the best countries from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s here at y'all. So we play a lot of your hits that we keep referencing. So I'm very excited, but I'm really excited to hear this new music too. Can you tell me a little bit about what we can expect?
It's very country. I mean, there's a couple of tracks that lean more towards country pop, but for the most part, you're going to hear fiddle, you're going to hear steel, you're going to hear harmonica. I mean, those are my favorite instruments, dobro. I love all that. So it's like, it's definitely not a sparse album. Mm-hmm. It's not esoteric. It has all the country elements to it. And, the great thing about it's a blessing and a curse, I guess, being an independent artist, because you kind of get the freedom to do whatever you want. You have less of a team. Like that's the great thing about being in a label is you've got a team to help you. So you're doing a lot more for yourself as an independent artist, but at the same time, you have that freedom to be, I've always loved that song. I'm going to cut it, Mm-hmm. This is my favorite. I'm going to cut it. So
you have creative control fully of
totally. That's
whatever.
A good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Way shorter than what I just said.
No, it's definitely true. Times have changed these days for sure. So where do you find your creative inspiration? Is it hanging out with Louie? Where do you find your songwriting inspo? Because you need to unwind, I feel like.
Yeah, my ears are always open. Have you got something to say, mister? TV shows, I think. Like, I'll get hooks or lines from a TV show that it will inspire a thought and be like, oh, I need to write about that. A song that was on, I did a duet with John Paul White from the Civil Wars, and I got the idea. It's called Someone Sometimes, from a meme on Instagram that said, don't be someone sometimes. And I'm like, that's great. That's great advice, So I wrote a song about that. To me, it's just all over the place, but I think you have to keep your eyes and ears open to those ideas so they can come in, and then write it down, because you always think, oh, I'll remember, but you won't, Or a melody, if it wakes you up in the middle of the night, don't go back to sleep because you won't remember it in the morning. You have to get up and record it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like that's a common theme, too, that we're hearing with some of the people that we're interviewing. Sawyer Brown, they're saying, like, oh, we would write lyrics on the back of a Burger King bag when we're driving down the road. You got to hit it where it strikes.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I love that. But speaking of TV, you had a song in a movie, Bridget Jones's Diary, and then another movie, All By Myself.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, I sang.
You sang.
Harmon song, but I sang it. Yeah, that was incredible.
That's really
like
cool.
One of the most favorite things I've ever done. Getting to go to the movie premiere and meeting the cast. And, it's one of those songs that, keeps going because they've had it in all the franchise of each Bridget Jones thing. And then they also had it on a big commercial over there because a lot of my relatives are in London and surrounding places in the UK. And they'd say, heard your song again on the such and such commercial. And they have like a big commercial chain that used the song. So that was cool.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you haven't done, something like that maybe, that's totally random but totally cool, that you would like to do that you haven't accomplished?
I think every artist would say there are things that they haven't done that they want to do. I always wanted to do Broadway. I don't know now, like with 8 shows a week, if I could handle that, but always wanted to do Broadway. Would love to have more songs in movies or sync or TV shows. Love doing collabs with people. I just think coming up with ideas and new, different things that you can do for yourself and challenge yourself and better yourself is really the most important thing as an artist. I feel like you're only really in competition with yourself. Like, am I doing better than I was, or am I working as hard? Am I trying new things? Am I thinking all the time about ways to be creative and to get, it's never been easier really to find out who your fans are. You can look on one of the apps and see what cities are listening and what, gender and age group and everything. That's pretty cool. There's nothing like that was around when I first came out. It's like I wish we had some of those tools back then, because it's really cool that you can find out what the fans are liking so fast and so easily right there on your phone, instead of someone telling you, hey, we just got something in that this isn't working or whatever, that takes so long to find out. Now it's like right at your fingertips. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you can change out your own photos and put your song up and do your own playlist. And I like a lot of that. I really do. Because you're doing things for yourself and you're asking your fans, hey, what do you like? And they're telling you, So that used to be a lot harder.
Yeah, that's good. I love that perspective of it too, because I feel like, it can be a double-edged sword with technology constantly evolving. So that's a positive way to spin that. So
Yeah.
Well, we're super excited to see you next week at CMA and at Chiefs in July. But is there anything coming up that we didn't touch on maybe that you want your fans to know about?
I just am excited to see the fans, to see them in person. And I love people to follow and direct message me. I always message back. Send in your photos, tell me what you're liking or tell me what you don't, just any of that stuff. I love connection with the fans. So I would just say to all the fans out there, I can't wait to see you at the show next week or at Chiefs on July 27th. And please come up and say hi.
And your Instagram is Jamie O'Neill?
I think it's Jamie O'Neill Official.
Jamie O'Neill Official.
Already a Jamie. I think there's a few Jamie O'Neills. Mostly guys.
You're the official. You're the official Jamie O'Neill.
Yeah, there's a guy on there, and he and I have become friends. I think he's up in Canada, and he's like, Jamie O'Neill needs to meet Jamie O'Neill.
You need to give me your Instagram handle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I love connecting and talking with people, and I'm just excited to get the new music out. I can't say exactly when it's going to be, but sometime in the summer I'll have a new song followed by a new song, and then the album in the fall.
Very excited. You'll have to stop back by and talk to us about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys some songs. And thank you for having Louie in today.
Jamie O'Neill and Louie O'Neill, everybody.
He's Louie Good, but
Louie Good. I'm sorry. Louie Good. Yeah.
Not Louie O'Neill.
We don't want to make Dad mad.
Did you say hi? Did you say hi? Can you say hi?
Can you say y'all 106.7?